A young man who has an unquenchable thirst for devouring novels, immersing himself in countless stories and adventures. His obsession leads him to discover a novel that has been overlooked by others, but the sheer volume of over 3,000 chapters doesn't deter him. He devotes a whole decade of his life to savoring every sentence, every paragraph, and every page. But little does he know that the novel's content is not just a figment of the author's imagination, but a gateway to a world of magic and wonder. Before we begin, follow if you want to zap into the latest anime trends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss any update from us. The story begins with Kim Dokja, a young man who has lived alone for over 28 years and works as a contract employee in a branch of a large company. Dokja's hobby is reading novels, and he finds solace in a novel called 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World. He has been reading this novel since he was a teenager, and now that he is almost finished, he feels a sense of loss. After spending a decade reading all 3,125 chapters of a novel, Dokja realizes he is the only one to accomplish this feat on a train ride. He meets Senga, a popular coworker who offers to help him find a new job after his contract ends that day. However, Dokja declines, feeling inferior to her success. During their conversation, the novel's author sends Dokja a message thanking him for his support, which helped the author win a competition and generate revenue for the novel. Confused, Dokja receives a gift from the author via email but discovers that the novel has disappeared when he tries to return to it. As Dokja's anxiety builds, a commotion erupts on the train. As a mysterious light appears, causing widespread panic, an interface notification pops up declaring the activation of 8612 Planet System Service and the start of the primary scenario. Suddenly, a small white monster with yellow horns, known as a dakibi, materializes before them. Dokja observes the creature from a distance, feeling confused as its features resemble those of the monsters he has read about in novels. However, Dokja is unable to intervene and can only marvel at its presence for the time being. The dakibi becomes increasingly agitated by the noisy humans in its vicinity and decides to make an example of them by killing one, emphasizing that this is reality and not a game. Amid the chaos, a man named Myung appears and offers the dakibi a significant sum of money in exchange for their escape. The dakibi refuses the offer, stating that what they need is not money but lives and burns the money. Shortly after, a blue gaming interface appears, displaying the mission objective of eliminating at least one life form within a 30-minute time limit, failure of which would result in death. Senga tries to call for help but fails, and Dokja explains that they are in a game world and need to learn the rules. Lee, a character from the novel, appears and calms everyone down, but then they hear about the president's death. Dakibi makes the scenario more difficult by shortening the time limit, and someone gets electrocuted trying to leave. They see a video of a similar scenario where someone had to kill to survive, and Dakibi warns that the same punishment awaits those who fail. This causes fear and distance among the group, and Dokja discovers the novel is missing. Dokja receives an email containing a file from the novel titled The 3 Possible Ways to Survive. Upon opening the file, he discovers a skill that allows him to read faster and find solutions within a minute. The solution he seeks lies in carriage 3707, where only 2 people can survive, according to the novel. In the meantime, Kim Namwon attacks an old praying woman, believing that killing is necessary for survival, as demonstrated by Dakibi. Myung tries to stop him, but Dokja hesitates to intervene since the novel implies that Granny is already dead, leaving him uncertain about what to do. Senga wants to help the grandmother, but Dokja tells her to stay put. There's an explosion, and Dokja seizes the chance to stop Kim. He takes the child Gilyoung and says they must kill insects to avoid killing people. Everyone follows suit, but Dokja frees the insects after killing just one. Kim asks Dokja to join forces, but he refuses. In the end, Kim goes on to kill the grandmother. With a shoulder tackle, Dokja throws Kim away and engages in a fight with him. As they intend to beat each other to a living pulp, Kim demonstrates his skills, but Dokja is able to avoid his attacks using his omniscient reader viewpoint skill. However, Dokja doesn't have the skills to attack yet, so he only intends to buy time. Kim then realizes what Dokja's plan is. He brandishes his knife, ready to kill the grandmother, but Dokja intervenes and shields her from harm, sustaining a scratch on his hand. It is then that Dokja decides to take the fight seriously. As Dokja had already killed a female insect and several of its eggs, he earns a significant number of coins. He may not look any different, but after using those coins to boost his physique to level 10, he's suddenly as strong as an ox with a hidden skin fibered as steel. Kim's knife, which previously scratched Dakja's arm, has no effect on him now. With a stern and intimidating expression, Dakja warns Kim that he won't allow anyone to die. Kim, insulted by Dakja's words, becomes even more enraged and slashes at Dakja with his knife. 5 people survive the chaos: Sunga, Lee, Myung, Gilyung, and Dakja himself. Dakja can't help but view it as reading a novel. They find the city under attack by sea serpents as the train exits the tunnel. Later, an interface with constellations appears before Dakja, and Senga thanks him for saving her life with the insects. Dakja modestly attributes it to luck and warns that it may not happen again. As a reward, the Dakibi offers constellation support to the survivors, but only Dakja knows about them. The others are left curious and wanting to learn more about the prize they received. Dakibi advises the group to check their stats, and they are presented with multiple constellations to choose from based on their individual accomplishments. Dakja's stats catch the attention of 4 constellations, but he discards 3 due to their hazardous side effects and selects the 4th, the prisoner of the golden headband, Sun Wukong. Once everyone has made their choices, Dakibi departs to prepare for the next scenario, leaving them alone for 10 minutes. Dakja suggests leaving the train, but everyone is hesitant due to the presence of monsters, which would result in certain death. Suddenly, a loud noise from the back door startles them, and Dakja realizes that the protagonist of the novel is approaching them. He informs the group that the individual is merciless and prioritizes their objectives, and their best option is to proceed to the next scenario. Unfortunately, the exit doors are damaged, hindering their escape. Dakja requests that Lee use his skill to strengthen his body to open the broken door. Lee is initially confused, but he eventually succeeds in opening the door. They quickly head towards a bridge, but are surprised to encounter Dakibi, who is blocking their path due to everyone's disobedience for not staying on the train. As punishment, the second scenario begins, which requires them to escape over a bridge. Failure will result in unknown consequences, and to make matters worse, a sea serpent is also lurking nearby, ready to devour them. Dakja advises the group to reach the bridge because he predicts that the bridge will collapse soon. True enough, as they head there, the sea serpent destroys the bridge. Dakja leads everyone to a bridge that is about to collapse. They reach it, but a sea serpent destroys it, leaving Dakja, Sunga, and Myung on one side, and Lee and Gilyung on the other. Sunga's constellation creates a bridge of light that can only support an even number of people. Someone must be left behind, and Dakja is chosen. Looks like Dakja drew the short straw, poor guy. Anyway, Dakja faces a group of zombies, including the powerful zombie of Kim. He uses a unique skill from his bookmark to replicate Kim's combat techniques and defeat him, but he is still surrounded by other zombies. The novel's protagonist Yu suddenly appears and grabs Dakja by the neck, demanding to know who he is and how he survived. Dakja realizes that Yu is a character from the novel he's been reading. When Yu asks Dakja how he survived the ordeal, Dakja attributes it to luck, saying that an explosion happened and he coincidentally killed an insect. Yu is skeptical of Dakja's survival story and uses his Sage Eyes power to uncover the truth about Dakja, but Dakja's fourth wall skill unexpectedly shatters Yu's ability and reveals his own high-level capabilities. The system presents Dakja with a side scenario to flee the bridge before it collapses, with a reward of 200 coins and only 2 minutes and 14 seconds to complete it. Yu persistently perceives Dakja as a dangerous person and decides to kill him. However, Dakja offers to help Yu by revealing information about the future that he doesn't know yet. Yu uses his lie detection ability to check if Dakja's words are true or not. To his surprise, Dakja is not lying. Yu now becomes increasingly confused and suspicious of Dakja's clairvoyant abilities, which are very rare in their world. Despite his suspicions, Yu seemingly accepts Dakja as his partner because his abilities are useful. They head towards the edge of the bridge, but Yu still harbors doubts and decides to test Dakja's abilities by throwing him into the crocodile monster below. If Dakja has the future sight ability, he should be able to handle the test easily. Follow if you want to zap into the latest anime trends and hit the subscribe button so you never miss any update from us.